Your Dodge has settings that are quietly overheating your engine and transmission right now. You probably don't even know they're wrong because they seem harmless. But after 20 years rebuilding Dodge engines and transmissions that died from heat, I can tell you exactly which settings are destroying your truck or car. Today, I'm breaking down the stupid Dodge settings that cause overheating and showing you how to fix them before you're looking at a $6,000 repair bill. Let's get started. Setting number 1, running premium fuel in a Hemi engine that doesn't need it. This sounds backwards. How does premium fuel cause overheating? Here's what happens. Hemi engines with standard compression ratios are tuned for 87 octane regular fuel. When you run 91 or 93 octane premium in an engine tuned for regular, the fuel burns slower and cooler. That sounds good, but it's not. The slower burn changes combustion timing. The engine computer detects this and adjusts fuel delivery to compensate. In some cases, this causes the engine to run slightly leaner than optimal. Lean conditions create more heat. Over time, this extra heat accelerates carbon buildup, stresses cooling system components, and can cause pre-ignition. I've seen Hemi engines with piston damage from running premium fuel when they should have used regular. The engine ran hot enough to cause detonation despite the higher octane. The fix is simple. Check your owner's manual or the sticker inside your fuel door. If it says 87 octane, use 87 octane. Only Hellcats, Demons, and Red Eyes require premium fuel. Everything else runs best on regular. You'll save money and your engine will run at the correct temperature. One customer insisted on running premium in his 2017 Ram 1500 with the 5.7 Hemi. At 95,000 miles, he had excessive carbon buildup and cooling system issues. We pulled the heads and found carbon deposits that were acting like insulation, trapping heat. His repair was $3,200. Setting number 2, disabling tow/haul mode while towing. This is huge for Ram truck owners. Tow/haul mode does more than just change shift points. It also increases transmission cooling by running the transmission cooler fan at higher speeds and locking the torque converter earlier to reduce slippage. When you tow without tow/haul mode enabled, the transmission generates massive amounts of heat from clutch slippage and constantly hunting between gears. I've measured transmission temperatures with and without tow/haul mode. Towing a 7,000-pound camper up a moderate grade without tow/haul, transmission temp hits 230 to 240 degrees. Same load, same grade with tow/haul enabled, transmission temp stays at 190 to 200 degrees. That 40-degree difference is the difference between transmission fluid that lasts 100,000 miles and fluid that's burnt at 50,000 miles. A customer towed a travel trailer every summer without using tow/haul mode. He said he didn't like how the truck held gears and engine braked. At 68,000 miles, his transmission started slipping. We dropped the pan, and the fluid was black. The clutches were burnt. The torque converter was damaged from excessive heat. His transmission rebuild cost $4,400, all because he disabled tow/haul mode while towing. The fix is obvious. Anytime you're towing anything, press the tow/haul button. It doesn't matter if it's a 2,000-pound boat or an 8,000-pound camper. Tow/haul mode protects your transmission from heat. If you really hate the engine braking feel, you can tap the tow/haul button off on flat roads and enable it again for hills. But never tow without it, especially in mountains or hot weather. Setting number 3, leaving performance tunes on stock cooling systems. Charger and Challenger owners love performance tunes. A simple ECU tune can add 50 to 100 horsepower to a Hemi engine, but that extra power creates extra heat. Stock cooling systems are sized for stock power levels. When you add a tune without upgrading cooling, you're asking for trouble. Performance tunes increase boost pressure on supercharged engines, advance timing, and run leaner air-fuel ratios. All of this generates more combustion heat. The stock radiator, intercooler, and oil cooler can't keep up. Engine temps climb into the danger zone, especially in summer traffic or during hard acceleration. I've seen tuned Chargers overheat on 90-degree days in stop-and-go traffic. One customer had a tuned 2016 Charger Scat Pack with the 6.4 Hemi. He added a 75 horsepower tune but kept the stock cooling system. During a road trip through Arizona in July, his engine overheated and blew a head gasket. The repair cost $3,800. The tune gave him extra power, but it also destroyed his engine because the cooling system couldn't handle it. The fix is simple. If you tune your Dodge, upgrade the cooling system to match. Add a larger radiator, a performance thermostat that opens at lower temperatures, and an auxiliary oil cooler. For supercharged engines, upgrade the intercooler and add methanol injection for charge cooling. These upgrades cost $1,000 to $2,000 depending on what you install, but they prevent the $4,000 overheating damage that happens when you tune without cooling upgrades. Setting number 4, ignoring your engine temperature gauge. Modern Dodges have digital temperature displays that show exact coolant temperature. Most owners never look at them. They assume if the check engine light isn't on, everything is fine. That's wrong. Your temperature gauge gives you early warning before catastrophic failure. Normal operating temperature for most Dodge engines is 195 to 220 degrees. If you see temps climbing past 230 degrees, something is wrong. Maybe the cooling fan isn't running. Maybe the thermostat is sticking. Maybe you're low on coolant. Whatever the cause, you need to pull over and investigate immediately. Driving with temps above 240 degrees causes permanent damage in minutes. I had a customer drive his 2018 Ram 1500 with the temperature gauge showing 250 degrees. He said he noticed it was high, but he was only 5 miles from home, so he kept driving. By the time he got home, the engine had warped the cylinder heads. Coolant was boiling. The head gaskets were blown. His repair bill was $4,600 because he ignored the temperature gauge for 5 miles. The fix is simple. Glance at your temperature gauge regularly, especially during towing, hot weather, or climbing grades. If temps go above 230 degrees, pull over safely and shut off the engine. Let it cool for 30 minutes. Check your coolant level. Look for leaks. If the problem persists, have it towed. 5 miles of driving at 250 degrees will cost you $5,000. Stopping immediately might cost you a $100 tow, but your engine survives. Setting number 5, running the wrong coolant mixture. Your Dodge requires a 50-50 mixture of coolant and distilled water. Most owners don't measure. They either dump straight coolant or mix it by eyeballing the ratio. Both mistakes cause overheating. Straight coolant without water actually has a lower heat capacity than a 50-50 mix. It can't absorb and transfer heat as efficiently. Your engine runs hotter with straight coolant than it would with the correct 50-50 mixture. Too much water and not enough coolant lowers the boiling point. The mixture boils at lower temperatures, creating vapor pockets in the cooling system. These vapor pockets prevent coolant circulation and cause hot spots that lead to warped heads and blown gaskets. Also, too much water means less anti-corrosion additives. The cooling system corrodes from the inside, leading to leaks and water pump failure. I've seen cooling systems filled with straight tap water and no coolant. The owner said coolant is expensive, so he just adds water when it's low. At 80,000 miles, his radiator was corroded, his water pump was leaking, and his engine was overheating. The entire cooling system needed replacement. The repair cost $2,800, all because he used the wrong mixture. The fix is to drain your cooling system and refill it properly. Use Mopar OAT coolant, the orange stuff, mixed exactly 50-50 with distilled water. Not tap water. Distilled water. Tap water contains minerals that corrode the cooling system. A gallon of distilled water costs $1 at any grocery store. A complete coolant flush and fill with the correct mixture costs $150 to $200. Do this every 50,000 miles or 5 years and your cooling system will last 300,000 miles. Setting number 6, using sport mode in stop-and-go traffic. We talked about sport mode causing transmission heat earlier, but it also causes engine overheating. Sport mode holds gears longer, keeping engine RPMs higher. Higher RPMs generate more heat. In highway driving, airflow through the radiator cools the engine, despite the higher RPMs. But in stop-and-go traffic, there's no airflow. The engine sits at 2,500 ERPM in traffic, generating massive heat with no cooling airflow. I've measured engine temps in sport mode versus normal mode during city traffic. Sport mode runs 15 to 20 degrees hotter because of the higher sustained RPMs and reduced airflow. Over time, this extra heat accelerates coolant breakdown, stresses hoses and gaskets, and can cause overheating on hot days. A customer with a 2019 Charger RT ran sport mode constantly, even in city traffic. On a 95-degree day stuck in traffic, his engine overheated. The temperature spiked to 245 degrees before he noticed. He pulled over, but the damage was done. The cylinder heads warped slightly. He started getting misfires and oil consumption. His repair cost $3,400 for new head gaskets and head resurfacing. The fix is to use sport mode only when appropriate. Highway driving, open roads, performance situations. Switch back to normal mode for city traffic, especially in hot weather. Let your transmission shift into higher gears to reduce engine RPM and heat generation. Your engine will stay cooler and last longer. Setting number 7, Not using the air recirculation button during AC use in extreme heat. This seems minor, but it causes your AC system to work much harder than necessary, which generates extra heat under the hood. When you run AC without recirculation, the system pulls hot outside air, cools it, and blows it into the cabin. On a 105-degree day, the AC compressor works overtime cooling 105-degree air down to 60 degrees. That overworked AC compressor generates massive heat. It puts extra load on the engine, which generates more heat. The condenser in front of your radiator gets extremely hot, blocking airflow to the radiator and reducing engine cooling efficiency. All of this together can push engine temps 10 to 15 degrees higher than normal. With recirculation enabled, the AC pulls already cooled cabin air and recools it. Instead of cooling 105-degree air, it's cooling 75-degree air. The compressor works less, generates less heat, puts less load on the engine, and the condenser stays cooler, allowing better radiator airflow. Your engine runs cooler and your AC works better. The fix is simple. On hot days, use recirculation mode once the cabin is initially cooled. You'll notice the AC works less hard and the engine stays cooler. Only switch to fresh air mode if you need to clear fogged windows or if you want fresh air. Otherwise, keep it in recirculation during hot weather. AC use. Setting number 8, blocking radiator airflow with aftermarket accessories. Dodge owners love to customize their trucks and cars. Bull bars, LED light bars, grill inserts, and bug shields are popular mods. But most owners don't realize these accessories block radiator airflow and cause overheating. Your radiator needs maximum airflow to cool the engine. Anything in front of the grill restricts that airflow. I've seen Rams with massive bull bars and LED light bars that completely block the upper grill. The owner thought it looked great. Then he towed his camper in summer, and the engine overheated climbing a moderate grade. The restricted airflow couldn't cool the engine under load. He had to remove the bull bar to prevent overheating. Even small accessories make a difference. Mesh grill inserts that look cool can reduce airflow by 20 to 30%. In normal driving, that might not matter. But add towing, hot weather, or mountain driving, and suddenly your engine is overheating. I had a customer with a 2020 Ram 2500 and the 6.7 Cummins diesel. He installed a custom mesh grill insert. Towing in the mountains, his coolant temp hit 230 degrees. We removed the grill insert and temps dropped to 205 degrees. The fix was free, just remove the airflow restriction. Before you install anything in front of your grill, consider how it affects cooling. If you must have a bull bar or light bar, choose designs that don't block grill openings. Leave the upper grill completely open for maximum airflow. Your engine needs that cooling capacity, especially if you tow or drive in hot climates. Setting number 9. Delaying coolant changes past 50,000 miles. Most Dodge owners don't realize this. They think coolant just needs to be at the right level. As long as it's full, it's fine. Wrong. Coolant degrades over time. The anti-corrosion additives wear out. The fluid becomes acidic. Acidic coolant corrodes the cooling system from the inside. Corroded radiators don't transfer heat efficiently. Corroded water pumps leak and fail. Corroded heater cores get clogged. All of this reduces cooling system efficiency and causes higher operating temperatures. I've tested old coolant with pH strips. Fresh Mopar OAT coolant has a pH around 9.5. Slightly alkaline. After 100,000 miles, that same coolant tests at pH 6.5 acidic. Acidic coolant is eating your cooling system. A customer never changed his coolant. Original fluid at 140,000 miles. His Durango started running hot. We flushed the cooling system and the old coolant came out rust-colored. The radiator was corroded internally. The water pump was leaking. The heater core was partially clogged. His cooling system replacement cost $1,800. All preventable with $150 coolant changes every 50,000 miles. The fix is simple. Change your coolant every 50,000 miles or 5 years, whichever comes first. Use only Mopar OAT coolant, the orange stuff. Mix it exactly 50-50 with distilled water. This keeps your cooling system clean, prevents corrosion, and ensures maximum cooling efficiency. Your engine will stay at the correct operating temperature for 300,000 miles. Let me give you one final example that shows what happens when you ignore all these settings. A customer had a 2016 Charger Scat Pack with the 6.4 Hemi. He ran premium fuel when he should have used regular. He had a performance tune without cooling upgrades. He ran sport mode constantly. He never looked at his temperature gauge. He mixed his own coolant by guessing the ratio. He ignored coolant changes for 120,000 miles. At 118,000 miles, his engine overheated catastrophically. Coolant was boiling. Temperature hit 260 degrees. By the time he pulled over, the damage was done. Warped cylinder heads, blown head gaskets, damaged pistons, scored cylinder walls. His engine needed a complete rebuild. The estimate was $8,200. He declined the repair and traded the car in for a fraction of what it was worth. Compare that to another customer with a 2015 Charger RT, the 5.7 Hemi. He used 87 octane regular fuel as specified. He kept the stock tune and stock cooling system. He used sport mode only for performance driving, not in traffic. He checked his temperature gauge regularly. He maintained proper 50-50 coolant mixture with Mopar OAT coolant. He changed coolant every 50,000 miles. At 185,000 miles, his engine had zero overheating issues. Original head gaskets, original cooling system, perfect. Same platform. Same basic engine family. One owner ignored the settings that affect cooling and destroyed his engine at 118,000 miles. The other paid attention to these simple settings, and his engine is still going strong at 185,000 miles. These aren't complicated fixes. Use the right fuel. Enable tow/haul when towing. Don't tune without cooling upgrades. Watch your temperature gauge. Use the correct coolant mixture. Change coolant regularly. Use sport mode appropriately. Enable AC recirculation in hot weather. Don't block radiator airflow. Simple settings that make the difference between an engine that lasts 300,000 miles and one that fails before 120,000. Fix these settings today. Your Dodge will reward you with reliable, cool running operation for hundreds of thousands of miles. Ignore them, and you're looking at overheating, warped heads, blown gaskets, and repair bills that cost more than your truck is worth. If you found this helpful, check out my next video where I'm breaking down the cooling system upgrades that let you tow heavy in extreme heat without overheating. Subscribe so you don't miss it.